Oh, hello there! My name is Jack, and welcome to my review of Genshin Impact. Now, this game, Genshin Impact, is currently at the center of all RPG players' minds, being the hottest and latest take in the open world JRPG genre. Coming from Chinese company MiHoYo, Genshin Impact exhibits a variety of cultural and mechanical influences, showcasing gameplay inspired by Breath of the Wild and map design that draws heavily upon both traditional Chinese and European influence. The game, however, is like a wild patchwork drawing from a multitude of creative decisions that take their roots from all around the globe. You can have Chinese named characters dressed in traditional Scandinavian clothing, speaking Japanese in a tavern that looks like it came from historic Germany. While the sheer amount of variety in their culture palette is so widespread, however, that they don't necessarily taste very well. The creation of a Frankenstein world looks and feels good at the surface, but it lacks depth and sort of buries its lineage in inaccessible and uncompelling lore. So the premise of the game features the player character searching for their lost sibling, and yet the pace and feel of the entire prologue exudes any feeling except for the compulsion to find them. The game is designed to be a relaxing journey in character progression, and yet the events of the prologue and well into Act 1 do not instill a sense of purpose or interest. The English dialogue is uninspired and generic. The optional, although well-known Japanese voice actors do a good job voicing the otherwise uninteresting characters and bring a sliver of life into the seemingly shallow character development, which only adheres to a traditional anime story at best. All that being said, the anime-inspired character models are well designed and well endowed. This is sure to please all those who seek fan service. You can be sure to find many waifus in this game. Well, being a gacha game at heart, Genshin revolves around its inner loot box mechanic, offering high rarity characters that feature unique and more powerful abilities. Being true to its nature, the game can indeed be classified as pay to win, although the gacha system is not quite egregious as some other games of the type. Oh, I'm looking at you, fake granddaughter. Unlike the latter, Genshin features a pity system that guarantees a 5-star character after 90 cumulative rolls in a single banner. This can be particularly satisfying to know for somebody who has been mocked by the gacha gods for as long as they can remember. Earning the premium currencies and primo gems does indeed take a fair bit of grinding, and days of dedication can be expected if you want to keep rolling for your favorite waifu or husbando. While the 5-star characters indeed possess a significant advantage in the game world, and in many cases are what players rely on to comfortably pass a mission or a boss, despite the overall difficulty not being particularly high with the food system and generous abilities of healing characters. The art style of the game is certainly reminiscent of a certain Zelda game, but it also prominently and proudly displays its anime heritage that viewers of Sword Art Online may notice and appreciate. It still feels, however, that Genshin is unwilling to settle its mind on design, so it just checked every single box. While it does make for a pleasant change in direction as you navigate your way through Liyue, the inconsistency feels more style-driven over purpose. Aside from the hub cities, the Green Wild features a wholly uninspired take on lush landscapes and terrain creation. The hills blend into each other and are easily forgettable, from indistinguishable rocky mountains to seemingly passing the same hill over and over. The game requires more unique landmarks between key areas. Aside from the lakeside trek through Dihua Marsh and an amber-clad mountain, I have no fond memories of navigating the tedious landscape of Mondstadt and Liu. As for the gameplay feels light and reasonably fast. The light and heavy attacks don't offer much variation, but the character abilities are what shine. Unique abilities that cater to both offense and support allow for deep customization of party composure. Elemental combination is both satisfying and enjoyable to activate. It feels very much like the next step of the well-established element mechanic in video games. It's rather hard to find a perfect party of varying elements who also wield all the weapons that one would need for challenges in this world. Great sword wielders, for example, break ores faster, while archers are indispensable for elemental tasks in the world. The base stamina is rather low, even for a beginner, and upgrading it is a huge chore, with collecting floating orbs across the map not only encouraging exploration but making it essential to enhance yourself. Or perhaps the biggest pitfall of Genshin is its lack of meaningful content once you arrive at a certain stage. Story missions become level locked and you're stuck wading around the game world looking for quick ways to gain XP. Aside from a handful of material farming bosses and repetitive challenge dungeons, the world is empty and devoid of interests. Side quests are generic and offer little in the way of XP, and the amount of grinding needed to progress your character increases exponentially as you crawl your way up the adventure rank ladder. The story quests themselves are unique enough to differentiate themselves from the generic quests at offer, but they are not, however, compelling enough to make you listen to what the characters have to say. While the music is fitting and inoffensive, paired with an amber sunset on top of an oriental tower, the mood can be set rather well. It can, however, be disturbed rather suddenly as soon as you think about your impending gacha rolls. The graphics are enjoyable and the frame rate is excellent, considering how a mobile version of the game also exists. In the future, I would like to see controller mapping and a separate horizontal and vertical sensitivity slider. For its compelling free price and co-op potential, Genshin Impact is indeed worth a play. If you are not interested by the time the prologue ends, which in itself is rather lengthy, you may be better off spending your time somewhere else due to the lack of substance while grinding or stuck between story missions. Genshin certainly has set a foothold in the Western market, with subreddits brimming with memes on our favorite edible mascot. For the time being, Genshin requires more content with substance for the players to wade through between each milestone, and more reasons to justify the high amount of grind required. That being said, the world is worth experiencing once over, especially if this is your first JRPG or gacha. Overall, I would give Genshin Impact a solid 7 out of 10. This has been Jack, doing a review of Genshin Impact for my channel Clipstate. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you liked the video, I hope you would consider checking out more of my videos.